Hold on. Just hold on a second. What surfaced moments ago is beyond unbelievable. Stefon Diggs. The very same man who spent weeks acting blameless. The very same man who hid behind crisis managers while the internet ripped him to shreds. The very same man who said nothing as Cardi B walked out with her chin lifted like nothing could touch her. Just revealed something that flips everything we thought we understood about that Super Bowl night on its head. And I'm warning you now, this admission is far more explosive than anyone imagined. We're looking at a behavioral pattern that runs deeper than a single evening, dirtier than the gossip implied, and more deliberate than anyone ever suspected. So before I explain what Stefon actually confessed, you have to see the entire landscape. Because this isn't only about the Super Bowl. This is about every step that built toward that breaking point, and why Cardi ultimately had no option but to leave. Let's unpack this. Okay, for weeks, the internet has gone into full investigator mode. I'm talking forensic-level breakdowns into what truly unfolded on Super Bowl Sunday. Everyone caught the obvious details, the freezing good luck from Cardi, the Patriots getting crushed 29-13, Stefon's baby mama, Kiki, uploading from the stadium with their son who arrived just 2 months before Card's baby, a different woman, Pri, reportedly showing up at the Super Bowl with Patriots credentials, the unconfirmed claims about Stefon slipping someone into a hotel suite hours after the defeat, Cardi exiting the arena early, unfollowing him, posting done, and refusing to turn back. But here's what people have started assembling that's honestly shocking. This wasn't a one-off situation. This wasn't Stefon simply making one reckless decision on one disastrous night. Social media has uncovered receipts, spotting cycles, music, linking clues that reveal an entirely different version of who Stefon Diggs actually is. And now, based on several insiders and reports making the rounds, Stefon has finally acknowledged to those around him that the cheating during the Super Bowl wasn't the beginning, that it's been recurring throughout his entire relationship with Cardi, that the Super Bowl was simply when he finally slipped up. Let me explain what's been surfacing because the sequence is genuinely insane. Remember when Cardi and Stefon first confirmed things in May 2025? On the outside, everything seemed flawless. Yacht photos, intimate captions, Cardi radiant, and saying he vowed to restore her after the Offset situation. But according to online theories and observers who've tracked this carefully, there were already murmurs circulating music, even then. Murmurs about Stefon maintaining ties with several women. Murmurs about him juggling entanglements that existed before Cardi ever entered the picture. Murmurs that were brushed aside because everyone desperately wanted to believe Cardi had finally reached her fairy tale ending. Then September 2025 arrives and Cardi reveals her pregnancy on CBS Mornings with Gayle King. She's sitting there glowing, speaking on fresh starts about embracing this new era. But what the audience didn't realize back then, and is only surfacing now through different reports and alleged insider leaks, is that Stefon's baby mama, Kiki, was already months along as well. Which means the timeline of when these pregnancies began intersect heavily. And if the calculations are accurate, that means Stefon was seeing both women within the same window when he was allegedly pledging loyalty to Cardi and mapping out a life with her. But things unravel further because Kiki wasn't the only one. Remember, Stefon has 6 children with 5 separate women. 4 of those babies arrived in 2025 alone. 4. So, while he's showcasing Cardi on Instagram, while he's escorting her to games, while he's speaking about unity and devotion, he's got several other women expecting his children. And according to what's now being circulated, Stefon has admitted that he remained connected to some of these women even after confirming things publicly with Cardi. Now, here's where the Super Bowl drama becomes even darker with this new perspective. It wasn't only about him allegedly inviting someone to his hotel room that night, it's about the reality that he arranged for multiple women to attend the Super Bowl from the beginning. Think about it. Kiki didn't just magically appear with their son. Stefon had to authorize that. Had to secure her seats. Had to organize everything. Pri allegedly having Patriots credentials means someone within his circle provided her entry. So Stefon basically constructed a setting where Cardi would be encircled by his other entanglements during what was meant to be their shared spotlight. That's not negligence, that's strategy. And according to insiders who've spoken to outlets covering this situation, this is precisely what Stefon has now acknowledged behind closed doors, that he was balancing multiple women throughout his involvement with Cardi. That he believed he could control each of these dynamics without exposure. That he assumed his reputation as an NFL player heading into the Super Bowl would somehow shield him or make people dismiss his actions. And that the Super Bowl was simply when everything he'd concealed detonated in his face simultaneously. But here's what makes this confession even more powerful. Individuals close to Cardi are now claiming that she sensed something wasn't right for months leading up to the Super Bowl. That there were red flags, contradictions, moments where the story didn't align. But Cardi, still recovering from the fallout of her marriage to Offset, wanted to believe Stefon was different. Music, she wanted to believe that Let Me Heal You was sincere.so. She chose to trust him anyway. She silenced that voice in her head. She fought to hold things together until the Super Bowl forced reality into the open. Because that night, every woman he'd concealed, every situation he'd been spinning, every lie he'd constructed, they all collided in one space at the exact same time. And Cardi finally understood the truth of what she had truly been facing. That's why the good luck felt so distant. That's why she walked out early. That's why she unfollowed him without hesitation. It wasn't only about one rumored situation inside a hotel suite. It was about everything aligning and her realizing she'd been deceived from the start. Now, Stefon's team is allegedly attempting to present this admission as him accepting responsibility and owning up to his actions. But let's talk honestly about what's really unfolding here. He's speaking now because the proof is undeniable. He's confessing because remaining quiet was damaging him more. He's recognizing the pattern because people have already traced the connections themselves. This isn't authentic regret. This is crisis management after being completely exposed. And the internet isn't buying it. Social media has been erupting since these claims began circulating. People are saying things like, so, he was cheating the entire time and Cardi still stayed until the Super Bowl. Her patience ice and matched. Others are writing, the fact that he had several baby mamas at the Super Bowl while dating Cardi shows how fearless these men really are. The frustration is intense because this isn't just about Cardi anymore. This is about a behavioral pattern that countless women identify from their own realities. What's also shocking is how this reshapes the entire story around the breakup. For weeks, some critics tried portraying Cardi as dramatic or overly emotional, suggesting maybe she should have remained and repaired things. Maybe she exited too fast. But now, with Stefon reportedly admitting there was a recurring pattern of cheating throughout the relationship, it validates every move Cardi made. She wasn't overreacting. She was responding exactly to someone who had been undermining her for months. And here's the part that really hits. Cardi drew a firm line from the start. She allegedly warned Stefon that if another woman appeared with a baby after they became official, it was finished. But what she didn't realize back then was that several women were already pregnant before she even set that boundary. Stefon entered the relationship already burdened with all this chaos and simply never revealed the complete truth. So by the time Cardi discovered Kiki's baby, about the other situations, about all of it, she was already invested, already expecting herself, already publicly tied to this man. But the Super Bowl offered her an escape. The public nature of that disaster, the disgrace of seeing his other women present, the rumored betrayal that evening, all of it handed Cardi the clarity and the strength to finally leave. And according to those within her circle, she's completely unsurprised by these recent confessions. She already knew. She already had enough details to understand exactly who Stefon was. That's why she's remained so calm since the breakup. That's why she's flourishing on her Little Miss drama tour. That's why she hasn't spoken a single public word about any of this. She doesn't have to. The truth is surfacing by itself. Meanwhile, Stefon is reportedly telling people he regrets everything. That Cardi was the greatest thing that ever happened to him. That he wishes he could rewind time and make different choices. But here's the reality about regret. It's easy to feel remorse after you've already lost everything. After the Super Bowl defeat, after the breakup, after snorts, the internet roasted you for weeks, after your reputation is uncertain and you're dealing with legal pressure, that's when regret arrives. But where was that awareness when he was actually making those decisions? Where was that guilt when he was bringing multiple women to the Super Bowl? Where was that honesty when he was deceiving Card's face for months? And that's exactly why this confession, even though it verifies what everyone assumed, doesn't really shift anything. Stefon can admit he cheated. He can admit there was a pattern. He can admit he deceived Cardi. But none of that repairs the harm. None of that secures forgiveness. Music, none of that makes him deserving of another opportunity. Because admitting you were wrong after you've already lost everything isn't the same as being accountable when it actually counts. Cardi understands this. That's why she's not going back. That's why she's not accepting apologies through intermediaries. That's why she's choosing herself and her peace every single day. She learned from the Offset situation that words mean nothing without transformed behavior. And Stefon's pattern proves he's incapable of that change. So, she's pressing ahead, thriving, showing the world that she doesn't need a man who won't respect her. The takeaway here is simple. When someone reveals who they are through their actions, music, believe them. Stefon showed Cardi exactly who he was, and she chose herself. That's the real victory. Let me know what you think in the comments.